What about like a tank? Should citizens be able to buy tanks or like
Yeah,
RPGs?
absolutely. Tanks, yeah.
Okay, well, that's just an absolute absurdity. Like an active tank that can fire
Yeah.
off. Okay, I mean, that's just an absurdity in your position. You understand like the amount of crime and fatality that would increase if citizens had tanks. How many schools getting blown up by tanks are worth it for you to have the right to own a tank?
This is like the slippery slope fallacy, bro. Like assuming the worst outcome is gonna happen, right?
No, it's a logical conclusion to draw because we know from data that when there are higher rates of firearm ownership, that there are higher rates of firearm mortality.
If we look at the cities, that's where a majority of the diversity is. That's where you see most of the ethnic enclaves. That's where you see most of the suppression of freedoms. Like, for example, in New York and California, you cannot own certain guns. You cannot even carry a gun around, which is a suppression of the Second Amendment, right? We wouldn't even have this discussion.
Well, I would disagree with that. I disagree with that's a violation of the Second Amendment, right? And the Supreme Court would disagree with you as well. The Second Amendment isn't all encompassing. Like you don't think people should be able to own nukes, right?
Well, I mean,
so you think a citizen should be able to own a nuke?
It's not necessarily should they own a nuke. It's just,
well, I'm asking you, yes or no, should they be able to own a nuke?
It's impossible to own a nuke.
But if somebody if someone could acquire a nuke.
Wait. Even if we legalize owning a nuke, it's literally impossible for you to own a nuke. The amount of capital, the amount of resources.
Elon Musk. Could Elon Musk get a nuke right now? Would that be okay? As a private citizen, would it be okay for him to buy and own a nuke?
Who would sell a nuke to him? That's the funny thing.
I'm asking you if that would be okay. Like, would you be okay with that? It's a hypothetical to test the logic of your perspective.
It's unrealistic, though.
It is super realistic. And I mean, we could just reduce it down if you want. Like, what about like a tank? Should citizens be able to buy tanks or like RPGs?
Absolutely, tanks, yeah.
Okay, well, that's just an absolute absurdity. Like an active tank that can fire off. Okay, I mean, that's just an absurdity in your position. You understand like the amount of crime and fatality that would increase if citizens had tanks. Like we already see, for instance, in states that have higher gun ownership, that there is higher rates of gun crime. So like if you throw tanks and RPGs into the mix, like how do you think these schools are going to withstand that?
Yeah, so that's a good point, right? There tends to be more in states that do have gun ownership, there tends to be more crime rates, right? But at the same time, it's all about protecting against the government, right?
Okay, so hold on.
Like the minuscule amount of deaths.
Yeah, no, not minuscule amount of deaths. It's minuscule amount of occurrences. But if you look at the fatalities in terms of shootings done with like automatic weapons or assault weapons, the fatalities are a lot higher. Shootings done with these weapons rather than handguns. Shooting.
Why should law enforcement and military have it?
Shooting with shooting with handguns they happen more because it's easier to get handguns. Also, I just want to point out that that's like the least sympathetic argument. Like I'm the least sympathetic to that argument that you need guns for the government because none of your guns are going to protect you from a drone strike.
Okay, bro. Okay, look at how Ukraine is holding up against Russia, right? With all Russia's tech and their high status drones, everything like that.
Who is arming the Ukrainians? Wait. Who's no? Let me ask you. Who's arming the Ukrainians? Who is arming the Ukrainians?
Even whenever we invaded Afghanistan.
Who is arming the Ukrainians? No, hold on, because you brought up Ukraine. You brought up Ukraine against Russia. Who is arming Ukraine?
Yeah, address my point though, bro, and I'll answer your question.
Okay, what was your point?
Yeah, so like we are the strongest military in the world, and yet we invaded Afghanistan, and they had fucking AKs, and yet they still beat us. Why is that?
Yeah, so we
ended up retreating. That's what happened. We ended up retreating just like we did in Vietnam.
We struck a deal and withdrew. But like for instance,
what deal did we strike?
The Doha Agreement. But they killed 2,500 of us, and we killed estimates of 50,000 to 100,000 of them. And we also did a bunch of cool shit. Like, I do want to stress, like, I do not agree with this operation. I do not agree with the Iraq war. I am only pushing back on the fact that, like, you're saying they won, because that's absurd. And it just circles back to the point that even them are greater armed than any civilian will be. Like, again, like, if you think that, like, you're going to stand and fight the government when they're just going to drone strike you, that's the least sympathetic argument that I have, down to the point.
Absolutely.
What's really going to happen is that people are going to have more weapons. You're not going to be any more protected against the government, but more innocent people will die, because that's what the data indicates. And in your worldview, it would be like tanks and RPGs and shit blowing up schools. How many schools getting blown up by tanks are worth it for you to have the right to own a tank?
This is like the slippery slope fallacy, bro. Like, assuming the worst outcome is gonna happen, right?
No, it's a logical conclusion to draw, because we know from data that when there are higher rates of firearm ownership, that there are higher rates of firearm mortality. So if you add,
Do you think that, yeah, just because I agree that everybody should have access to firearms doesn't mean that I agree that the access should be easy, right? That's where you're conflicting. So yes, I am a proponent of firearms, right? Basically unlimited. But I do think that there should be government oversight. I do think you should have an extensive background check.
Okay, then we agree. Then me and you agree. Okay, then Democrats are not infringing on your rights. They're just putting in place laws, and you agree. You agree that it's okay to have laws around gun ownership.
No. There's a difference between infringing upon your rights and providing safety and protectance against people that want to abuse the Second Amendment, right? The Second Amendment is used for good citizens and good citizens only.
No, the Second Amendment is to give states assurances against the federal government.
Are you completely against guns?
No, I'm fine with guns, with people owning guns. I just think that there should be regulations. Like, I think the rules in New York or California are perfect and should be the nationwide rules.
I agree, but it's like, why limit people's options whenever they are law abiding?
Well, because one, there's no way to tell, and two, it just puts the gun in circulation for even non-law abiding people. Let's say if it's in the house, what if their kid's bad? What if the significant other gets a hold of it? What if they just have a psychotic break one day? And when it's guns that are made seemingly just to kill the most amount of people in the least amount of time, I just think that we should keep those off of the streets the best as possible.
Okay, whenever you say it like that, it's kind of convincing, but I still want to be right, so I'm not going to say anything.